Okay, good morning. We will start now with our lesson. Welcome to our reading class. I guess this is the first time that the English subject conducted a reading class, and I hope that this will not be the first, but I am planning, or the whole English teachers, we are planning that we will have this reading class once a month, starting third quarter, and then the rest of the school year. Now, reading class is very important because if your reading skills is not good, it might affect your reading of other subjects. So for those of you who are participating on YouTube Live, you are still part of the class even though you are not here in Zoom. We only limit the number of students here in Zoom because our participants is just limited. The capacity of our Zoom is limited. However, all grade 7 students are required to attend the reading class, and if there are some of your classmates who are not able to join due to internet connectivity, or probably they have their class today, kindly remind them that they can watch the recorded video of this lesson, and then right after our class, don't forget to take the test. This is also considered as our third quarter long test. Okay, so I hope that we will have fun having our first reading class for the whole grade 7. Okay, so now for those of you who are YouTube Live, kindly look for the attendance link in the live chat. And from time to time, there are English teachers who are monitoring. Your English teachers are monitoring in the live chat, making sure that you participate. And of course, the link will be posted every 5 minutes or 15 minutes, so you can still look for the attendance. However, the attendance will only be open right after maybe 15 or 20 minutes after the live chat. Okay, so the rest of those who are not able to join with us today, they will have they cannot, of course, sign up for the attendance. Now, for the rest of the week, your teacher might give you an activity in the Google Classroom, but our class today is also considered as our online class. All right, and don't forget to take the long test. This is for today. So what will you learn today? May I ask Jennifer Molina to read? This is what I expect you right after our class that you should learn. Jennifer, can you unmute your mic?
What I will learn today. Number 1, identify the linear and nonlinear text. Number 2, transcode information from linear to nonlinear text and vice versa.
All right, thank you, Jennifer. So at the end of the class, do an evaluation of yourself. Are you now able to identify what is linear and what is non-linear text? And the last part, now this will be tested during your long test, because the long test would be about transcoding the information from linear to non-linear text. Okay. Now, why do we have a reading class? So this is English class. Why do we have a reading class? Now, reading class, as I mentioned earlier, that if your reading comprehension skills is not really that strong, it might affect, or it will, not just might, but it will really affect your understanding or your performance in other subjects. Okay, so this is already mentioned by your English teacher, the first quarter. We discussed in one of our modules in the first quarter, we have our reading. And if you remember, we have kinds of reading style that you can apply while reading. Okay, Hannah, can you please read what is reading?
What is reading? Reading is a number of interactive processes between the reader and the text, in which readers use their knowledge to build, to create, and to construct meaning. Reading is making meaning from
Okay, so reading is considered as an interactive because while you are reading, even if you are just by yourself, there is a communication going on between you and the text. And when you are reading, your brain functions and you start to imagine your brain or your imagination travels. So there is a communication, there is an interactive process between you and the text or the book that you are holding. And while you are reading, you use your knowledge to build, to create, and to construct meaning. So that's why it is called interactive. And the simplest meaning of reading is making meaning from print. So while you are reading, of course, you make meaning. What is it all about? So when you are looking, even if you are looking at a picture, your brain still process what you see. So this is what we call making meaning from the print. Okay, now, since our topic for today for our reading class is linear and non-linear. Now, how is linear different from non-linear text? Now, I know that you already have the idea about non-linear and linear text because it is in your second quarter module. But the reason why we have this class is for us to develop our understanding of the text, because next month we will also be having this reading class. And the sample that we are going to use or to tackle this morning or today is not really that difficult. So we will start from simple to complex understanding of text. But I am just laying the ground, the foundation of your understanding, and then the skills that you will acquire today will help you improve your reading comprehension skills. And the next time that we will have our reading class, we will go deeper, complex understanding of the text. All right. So to differentiate what is linear and non-linear text, we will have this on the first column of the first boxes, we have the linear, and then the second column of boxes, we have the non-linear text. Now, how are they different in definition? How are they different from reading path? When you say reading path, how do you read it? When you are reading, there is a what we call a path. Where do you start from left? Of course, when we read from left to right. However, in non-linear and linear text, there is a different path when you understand it. And also there is the content of both are different, and the efficiency and its examples. Okay, let me call the other from other sections. Say Binaya. Binaya, can you please differentiate the definition of linear and non-linear text? How are they different? Binaya Jaden. Is Binaya here? Can I ask somebody? You can just raise your hand if you want to read. Yes, Kira.
linear. Refers to the traditional text needed to be read from the beginning to the end. Linear. There is only real reading.
Kira, you read it from left to right. So because we are differentiating, what is the definition of linear and what is the definition of non-linear? Okay, read this box, not up to bottom. Like we will read it from left to right because we are differentiating linear versus non-linear. All right, read it again, Kira.
Linear. Refers to the traditional text that needs to be read from the beginning to end. Non-linear. Refers to the text that does not need to be read from the beginning to the end.
All right.
Linear is the only one.
Okay, let's just stop there in definition. So the definition of a linear text, it is a traditional Traditional text. What do you mean by traditional? The usual that we look at when we are reading a text. Okay, we read from left to right, and this is when you say linear, you mostly these are just text. Now the non-linear refers to text that does not need to be read from the beginning to end. You think about what is this text that does not need to be read from beginning to end. Like how when we read, we usually read from the first to the last. Otherwise, you will not understand. So non-linear is not a typical kind of text. Okay. The reading path. Can I ask somebody to read the reading path of linear and non-linear text? Yes, Ada.
A reading path, there is only one reading path which is decided by the author. There are multiple reading paths, they are determined by the reader.
All right. So thank you, Ada. Now the reading path is how do you read it? Which way you are following when you are reading. So in linear text, of course, it has to be read from the beginning to the end. So you only have one path in order for you to understand what you are reading. However, in non-linear, there are multiple paths you want to read. It's either you want to look at on this side, the information this side, or either you want to look at are you going to focus on the information, or you are going to look at the numbers. So it's not like the usual reading path that you usually do when you are reading a simple text. Now the content, when you say content, what is in the text? So how is linear and non-linear different? Can I see a hand to volunteer? Yes, Nicole Maceda.
Content typically includes print text, typically includes digital text.
Okay, so the content, when you say content, what is in the text you are reading? So in linear text, it's just mostly text. When you say text, these are letters, okay? Now in non-linear, typically includes digital text. When you say digital text, it's not just text, but it might include numbers, it might include graphs, drawings. So they are not just only text that you are reading. Now, the efficiency, like how efficient is this information that can give you knowledge? So can I see a hand? Yes, Binaya.
It may take time to find the information readers are searching for, allows readers to find information more efficiently.
Okay. Now the difference between the efficiency, how effective it is to give you information, or how effective is this text to give you a deeper understanding of what you are reading. Now in linear text, it may take time for you to find what you are looking for because they're all text. However, in non-linear, the reader will be able to find the information more efficiently because it is in a diagram, in a graph, where you can easily spot on what you are looking for. Like, for example, when you're looking for a population, normally when you are looking for a population, it's a bar graph or probably a pie chart. So when you look at it, you will directly see the numbers. Whereas in a linear text, you have to read everything because they are text. So you are going to look for the information. Now, the example of linear and non-linear text, can I see? Yes, Sean. Sean, unmute your mic. You're raising your hand. What are the common examples of linear versus non-linear? Okay, can I have Alfredo? Yes, Alfredo.
Novels, poems, letters, textbooks, newspaper articles, flowcharts, knowledge maps, and encyclopedias.
All right, thank you. So the common examples of linear text are novels. You read books. when you read books, they're all just text. And when you are reading a novel, you have to read, of course, from the beginning. It is sequential. When you say sequential, first, the next paragraph, the next event, until the end of the story. That's a linear. The poems, when you read a poem, you don't read in the middle, in the fourth stanza, and then you go back to the second stanza, and then you read the last stanza. You don't read that way, right? You read from first stanza until to the last stanza. That's a linear. And also in the newspaper articles, when you're reading an article in a newspaper page, you have to read from the beginning to the end. However, in the non-linear, the example of that is the flow charts. You know, in your math, in your MAPE subject, sometimes you use your AP, there's a flow charts that you look at. Okay. Now, when you're looking at the flow charts, your reading path is not, you don't have to start at the beginning, right? You sometimes look at what information I want to look at. Then your eyes go directly to that spot. And you're looking at the map. When you're looking at the map, there is no really the beginning of the map, right? There's no beginning of the map and the end of the map. It depends where you look at, what country you are looking at, what specific continent you are looking at. So that's the non-linear. It's not a typical, you read from the beginning to end. And encyclopedias, I'm not sure if in your generation knows about encyclopedia. Do you know what's an encyclopedia? Anyone? Probably you do not know that. An encyclopedia is a book of knowledge where there are different information, and it is that encyclopedias are categorized by alphabet or by information that you want to know. And when you're looking at encyclopedia, you don't read like a novel. You only go to the page where you need to get information from. That version of a digital text would be Wikipedia, but Wikipedia is not really a reliable source because anybody can edit that. So this is the difference now between a linear and non-linear text. Now, to give you a very simple presentation of what is linear and non-linear, because this one is a little bit difficult to understand. But okay, for those of you on YouTube Live, could you please study this, try to understand, because your exam later will ask you to identify what is a linear and non-linear text, and those of you who are here in Zoom. So this is a very simple example of a linear text. So this is a book. Probably this person is reading a novel. So when you are reading a novel, as I mentioned earlier, that you are going to read from the beginning end to end. And you see that these are all text. Now there are books, depends on what level of grade level of the book that you're reading. Of course, when you are reading a book for kindergarten, then it has a lot of pictures. But still, even if it has a lot of pictures, it is still considered as linear. So linear refers to traditional text that needs to be read from beginning to end. So you have now the idea what is a linear text. Now, this is an example of a non-linear text. It is non-sequential. When you say non-sequential, it does not start from beginning to end. Now look at this one. So types of supplies. When you're looking at it, it's not really beginning to end, right? So if you want to look, depends where your eyes would, depends where, what part of this graph interests you. So you may look at the pencil, scale, the pen, sharpener, eraser, and you may look at here the types of school supplies, or you may look at the number of school supplies. So this is an example of a non-linear text. It is not only a text, but it involves numbers. There are bars. There are lines that would tell you what information you need to process. Okay. Now, based on our definition of non-linear and linear text. So let me have an activity that would test your understanding. Okay, so identify those who are on YouTube Live. You can give your answer. Let me check. My YouTube is not open. Let me check those who are participating YouTube Live. Let me give you a shout out probably, or mention your, where is it? Okay, here. All right, here. Okay, so let's start. So identify whether it is linear or non-linear example. Okay, Kira, you may close your cam, Kira, because you are broadcasted live YouTube. Yes, Kira.
Novel, non-linear, linear.
Okay, novel is an example of linear. Good job. You see who are giving their answers. I do not see those who are on YouTube Live. You may give also your answer. Wait. Let me off the audio. Okay. Rebecca, Andrea, Valencia, your answer is correct. Yes, linear. Number 2, Erica Jane.
Number 2, pie chart, non-linear.
Pie chart is a
Non-linear.
okay. Oh, what happened? I give it. Okay. I answered number 3. Okay. Yes. Pie chart is a non-linear. Good job. But number 3, be given a graph is a non-linear. Okay, let's go to number 4. What's the answer to our number 4? Okay. I see a lot of hands raising, but I have difficulty looking at Monica from Pythagoras.
Linear.
Love letters is a
Linear.
linear, of course. When you are reading a love letter, I don't know if do you still get a love letter today? Maybe you don't, because it's only a DM or a PM and somebody likes you. No love letters anymore. Okay, when you're reading a love letter, of course you read from the beginning until the end. You don't read a love letter randomly. Okay, so the answer is linear. Good job. Okay, now we have Zach, Annalyn, Lindsay, Zyrene, Yuri. Okay, they're giving correct answer. I'm reading your answer. Now let's go to another activity. Okay, this one we discussed this earlier. Identify whether this fits the description of linear text or non-linear text. Okay. So number 1, I'll read number 1 first, but the rest of you may raise your hand and I'll call your name. Number 1, they are the interpretation of data from graphs, tables, and charts converted into words. Yes, Sean. What's the answer, Sean? This is a little bit tricky. Sean, you raise your hand, Sean. You can, Sean's audio, I think is not working. Ivan Tamayo says non-linear text. Fatima, non-linear. I'm reading your answers, those who are on YouTube Live. And Prince, NLT, IZ, Monique, NLT, Rebecca, NLT, Brent, Justin, NLT, are you sure? You have to, please write number 1. Okay, number 1 or number 2, which one you are answering. Okay, Carla, what's your answer, Carla?
Linear text.
Linear text. Okay. Now, you have to understand this. That's why I said it's very tricky, because you see graphs and tables and charts. So when you say Graphs, tables, and charts, okay, they are non-linear. But you have to read this converted into words. So it's already converted into words. Like there is a graph and then you are going to interpret it. So meaning to say you are going to write it onto words. So if it's all words now, there is no graphs anymore. There are no graphs anymore, no tables and charts. So the answer is for number 1 is LT, linear text, because this is now the interpretation. Okay, let's go for number 2. Enriquez, Muriel. Number 2, Muriel.
It refers to text that does not need to be read from beginning to end.
Okay.
Non-linear text.
Okay, non-linear text, because you do not read from the beginning or to the end. Okay. Number 2, Carilina got the correct answer. Carilina, this is on YouTube. Rian, Chloe, NLT, correct. Lindsay, NLT, correct. Okay, but you have to, Lindsay, what number are you answering? You have to indicate your number so that I can know. Next, number 2. We're now in number 3. It includes printed text. Yes, Sean. Sean's been raising. You've been raising your hand, but I never heard your voice. What's wrong? Unmute your mic, Sean. I miss your voice. Your audio, I think, Sean, is not working. Okay, I'll call somebody else from the other section. Let's see. Janelle. Janelle, can you please answer number 3?
It includes printed text, linear text.
Yes, it's a linear text. Very simple definition. Okay. LT, John Castro, Yuri, Manuel, Toxic. What's your name? Toxic Gamer. Toxic Gamer, what's your real name? Okay. The correct answer is, yes, linear text. Number 4. Where are the hands? Okay. I'm having difficulty. Mariel Basal from Pythagoras.
Number 4. There is only one reading fact which is decided by the author. It is unlinear text.
Okay, sorry. I muted myself. Number 4, there's only one reading path which is decided by the author. One reading path. So, you know, what's the correct answer? One reading path. I'm sorry, I did not hear it.
It is unlinear text.
A linear text. Only one reading path from start to finish, beginning to end, from left to right. Okay, let's read the answer on YouTube. Very fast. Asher, Bernardino, LT, correct. Jobs, Kenzie. Number 4, is it in LT? All right. What number are we now? Number 6. No, number 5. I want to call somebody from Gates. Who's from Gates here? Alfredo. This is the second time I called Alfredo. Okay, Alfredo, number 5.
Number 5, it includes flowcharts, knowledge, maps, encyclopedias.
What's the answer?
Non-linear text or NLT.
Okay, non-linear text or NLT. Keith, okay, so fast on YouTube Live. Princess Gail, NLT, correct. Jillian, NLT. Who else? Serial John, NLT, correct. Yeah, indicate please the number you are answering. Let's go for number 6. Number 6. Who else? Nicole, yes, Nicole Maceda.
These are traditional texts that need to be read from beginning to end. Linear po.
Yes, linear text. But when we when we read the past tense or past participle of read, it should pronounce as read, right? To be read, although the same pronunciation. Okay, correct. Number 6, let's see who got the correct answer. Number 6 on YouTube. We have LT. Okay, all right. Now your teachers are monitoring YouTube Live. Your English teachers are also giving scores for those who participate. This is considered as your recitation. Okay, correct. Now, linear text. Number 7. Okay, number 7. Eric from Burgos. Eric de la Cruz, read number 7. Eric, where's Eric?
There are multiple reading paths. They are determined by the reader.
Determined. Okay, what is this? Multiple reading paths. What's the correct answer, Eric?
Linear text po.
Linear text, there are multiple reading paths. Remember, in a linear text, you only have one reading path, beginning to end, left to right. The correct answer is, of course, if it's not LT, it's NLT. Okay. YouTube, we have Seth Amirol, LT, correct? No, NLT. Should be NLT, number 7. Multiple. You look at different direction because you are processing with the numbers, the interpretation of the graphs. Okay, let's go for number 8. Maghinang, Kim. Kim Jed.
No. Poems, letters, topics,
Okay, what's the
LT?
Yes, LT or linear text. Very good. Let me read number 9 and then give me the correct answer. Number 9, it's used to summarize figures. So summarize the keyword. Summarize figures, show trends, comparisons, relationships, and clarity of difficult concepts. Looking at the, okay, we have, yes, Monica.
Ano po, number ulit po?
Monica. Number 9. You're muted.
LT,
Sige.
linear.
Yeah. Yes. Are you sure, LT? You know, when you make a graph or a pie chart, normally it summarizes the difficult concept. So what is it? It's a nonlinear text. You know, if there is a difficult concept and if you're reading just a purely text, sometimes your brain cannot process the difficult concept right away. However, if you're looking at graphs or trends or a pie chart, it would easily, or a graphic organizers, it would easily be understood because it can be simplified by representing a graph, a flow chart. So this is NLT. Okay, number 10. Erica Jane, number 10.
It allows the reader to find information efficiently. NLP.
Yes, NLT, more efficiently. So sometimes, you know, it would be easy if it can be represented by graph. You can easily understand. Or we have the ads, or we have the, what we call this, graphic organizer. Now, your English teachers or your other subject teachers, it would be your thoughts can be simplified by using the graphic organizers. All right, good job. You're able to give correct answer. So remember this, because in our long test, this will be asked, or this will be given. Okay, let's move on to the other example. Non-linear text to linear text. What is this? This is the steps that you can follow when you are interpreting a non-linear or linear text, from non-linear text to linear text. So non-linear text to linear text, how to interpret or how to understand. Hannah, can you please read non-linear text to linear text?
Non-linear text to linear text. Step 1. Interpret a diagram, table, chart, and graphs, and present the information in your own words. Step 2. Organize, present, and possibly compare. Step 3. Describe an object, event, or series of events. Linear text to non-linear text. Step 1. Read the passage to get a general idea of the subject matter. Step 2. Look at the visual to identify what information is needed to complete the chart. Step 3. Locate the relevant information in the passage and transfer it to the chart. Use only keywords or phrases. Step 4. You may be required to classify information into categories under.
All right, thank you. So this will be your guide later when you are going to take the test, how to interpret a non-linear or linear text, or linear to non-linear text. Now, as I said, or as I mentioned earlier, that this lesson that we have now, I am just laying the groundwork for your understanding, because next month we will also be having a reading class. So the skills that you acquire today will be helpful in our next session, because we are going to discuss a complex reading exercises. So for now, it is just more on definition, understanding the concept, and then a simple examples. All right. So let's try this one. Now, what is this? What example is this? Is this linear or non-linear text? Anybody just can open your mic. What is this? Yes, Alfredo.
Non-linear po.
Yes, this is a non-linear. Okay. Now, as I said, we are just going to take a very simple example. Okay. Now, question number 1. What is the data about? Please raise your hand. Yes, Marielle Basal. What is the data about?
It's about the percentage of students filled in all subject areas.
Okay, very good. So you see the difference? When you are looking at it, it's easy for you to get the information. Whereas if it is all text, when your teacher asks you, or when you are taking a test, you have to apply scheming. If you remember, you have to apply scheming and scanning in order for you to find the data. However, if you are looking at a non-linear text, the efficiency of your understanding of what it is easier, because you can see that there's not a lot of text. Okay, number 2. Jillian May got the correct answer also on YouTube. She said, percentage of students failed in all subject areas. Okay. Gohan, why is Gohan happy? LOL. All right. Number 2, question number 2, Ada.
The students has the highest percentage of failed subject po is mathematics.
Mathematics, the highest percentage. Let's look at the percentage. Yes, it's 18%. But you know what? It's very disappointing or saddening part that in grade 7, there are a total of 315 students who failed in the English subject. And that's why, now if you are one of those students listening right now, it's not yet the end of the world for you if you belong to the 315 students who failed in the English subject. It is not yet the end for you. That's the reason why we have intervention. The last time we had an intervention class. If you attend the intervention class and if you take the test, then there's no problem. You can still pass. And if you already know that you have a lot of subjects that you failed, of course, it's not, like I said, it's not the end of the world. Contact your subject teacher, your English teacher, or whatever subject that you failed. And then, well, start not being lazy. Wake up early, do your work. Okay, very good. So mathematics has the highest percentage of failed students. Now let's go for number 3. We have Cassandra. Let's go, Cassandra.
What subject most students prefer? TLE, THE.
Okay, now this is interesting. Why the answer is TLE? Is it TLE? Okay, what subject most students prefer? It's TLE and THE. No, I am not asking the reason why. I'm not asking why they like TLE and THE. I'm asking about the numbers, okay? Why is TLE and THE is the correct answer? Why not mathematics? How this data should be interpreted? Carla, I want to hear from Carla. Why is TLE and THE the correct answer?
As it has the least failed students.
Yes. So if it has the least failed of students, probably the students like TLE and THE the more. Okay, I feel sad. So maybe there are a lot of students who do not like English because it's 17%. Okay, good job. So let's go to another example. Now this one is a little bit complicated, but still you can understand. There is a comparison of flu between the flu and COVID-19. Okay, we are still in the pandemic. That thank goodness, it's slowly we are slowly recovering and slowly we are going back to normal. Okay, question number 1. I like somebody who is not. Is that raising her or his hand? May I call John Kyle Ligasto from Burgos? Can you please answer question number 1? John Kyle, unmute your mic. John Kyle, are you?
COVID-19 symptoms begin to develop in blank days after exposure.
Okay. Let me see those on YouTube Live. What is the correct answer, participants in the live chat? COVID-19 symptoms begin to develop in blank days after exposure. So you are going to look at, of course, in the area of the COVID-19. Ostan Annalisa, 1 to 14 days after exposure, correct? John Castro, 1 to 14 days. Jobs, Kenzie, 1 to 14. Ira Trinidad, 1 to 14. Sean Patrick, 1 to 14. Ivan, 1 to 14. Okay, a lot of you got the correct answer. Now, number 2, let's see. So I'll ask from participants in Zoom to answer, and I will read the answers on YouTube Live. Would like to answer? Zaid Wayne. Zaid, can you read number 2, Zaid? We should end in 15 minutes. Maybe the link for the long test can be given now in the live chat, and the link of the attendance so that students can where are we now? Number 2, who did I call? Number 2. Yeah, Zaid, have you read Zaid? Or did you? I'm kind of lost. Sorry, I have difficulty looking at those hands are raising. Okay, Mirel, Muriel, can you read number 2, Muriel?
To prevent having flu, a person must take a flu shot.
Yes, correct. You can find the answer here at the bottom part of the circle. So this is a Venn diagram. Now you are familiar with the Venn diagram. The Venn diagram gives you this circle, the other side of the circle, the left and the right will give you the difference, and in the middle, that will give you the idea how what information or what details that the two shared. Okay, the correct answer is they have to get a flu shot. Number 3. Okay, Jovi Faith Falabrica, that's the correct answer. Kiana Cordero, Fatima, correct. And Asher Bernardino, correct. Okay, number 3. Hannah. Hannah, can you please
What is the cause of COVID-19?
Oh, that's not COVID. A typo. It's COVID-19. Sorry. It should be capitalized. Yes, go. What's the correct answer?
What is the cause of COVID-19? SARS-CoV-2 virus.
Yes. So it's easy to spot on the answer. That's why nonlinear text is easier when the efficiency of getting the information would be better if it's a nonlinear text. Okay, number 4. Can we have? Let me read the answers on YouTube Live. Yes, Jamaica Espinoza got the correct answer. Patricia Lingon, correct answer. Aldrin Marcelo, John Russell Pangan, correct. Good job. Okay, number 4. Oh, I'm gonna fall. Yes, Mariel Basal. Mariel Basal, very participative. Number 4.
Number 4. Both COVID-19 and flu are transmitted by droplets from an infected person. True or false? It's true.
Yes, it's true. So it's given here in the Venn diagram. Okay, let's see. So that's the end of the discussion. But what is your takeaway? Anybody from? What is your takeaway? Yes, Alfredo. Yes, Alfredo, unmute your mic. What is your takeaway about our discussion today? Or what did you learn? Those also on YouTube. Those of you on YouTube, I want you to tell me, what did you learn today? Yes, Kira.
My takeaway is the information about non-linear and linear. The meaning of the non-linear and linear.
Okay, thank you. How about Alfredo? I want also to hear others, okay? Yes, Alfredo. What is your take?
Today I learned the difference between linear and nonlinear.
Okay. Next, Ada. I see Ada raising her hand.
I learned today is what is the meaning of linear and non-linear text and what is their difference. Wow.
Hey, very good. I'm happy to know that. Let me read. Oh, but there's no name. I can't read. Somebody answered on YouTube Live, but there's no name. John Russell says, I learned nonlinear and linear text. Job says, I learned today is what's the difference between linear and nonlinear text. Okay. And Fatima says, linear texts are texts we read from start to end, while nonlinear text refers to text that does not need to be read from the beginning to end. Okay, very good. Zian Ramirez also and IZ have the same answer. Yes, correct. Now, each person, each of us has a different way of our brain functions differently. There are people who prefers to look at graphs and flow charts and graphic organizers. There are also people who would prefer to look at just all text. It's something that is enjoyable. Okay. Now let me just ask you, because in our first quarter, we had we learned the 4 different techniques in reading or reading style. What are those? Okay, who among you have remembered that? Let me see in the YouTube live chat. What are the different reading styles? If you still remember, there are, I think, 4. Yes, Alfredo from Gates. Yes, Alfredo, you're raising your hand. You can unmute. You still remember? Okay, students on live chat, who can remember the different, the 4 reading styles that your teachers, English teacher, have taught you? Yes, Fatima answered 1. Yes, correct. Scanning. Mariel.
Skimming.
Yes, skimming. So we have Rian Chloe Medenvilla. She answered the 4 reading styles. You have the skimming, scanning. No, she only gave 2. In-depth reading. Yes, Marisol Flavier, extensive reading. Yes, correct. The intensive reading, Marcel. Okay, got the correct. So we have the different reading styles or reading technique that you can apply when you are reading. You have the skimming, scanning, intensive, and intensive reading. Now, which do you think is something that is enjoyable? Linear or non-linear text? Carla, which do you think is something that most of us would enjoy reading? Linear or non-linear text?
It depends on the person po.
Yes, but most of us, majority, it's something that you would enjoy. It's something that is pleasurable. Something you read because you want to be entertained, or you want, this is what we called a, you read for pleasure. What is this?
Linear is mostly used for entertainment purposes.
Yes, linear text. This is for, you read for pleasure. Like you read because there are people who would read because you want to relax. There are also people who would read because it's a hobby. But for non-linear, it's mostly it is informational. Information you're giving information. Okay, so 11:54. My class ended so quickly. It's 11:54. We're supposed to end 12, but it's okay. So those of you who are participants in Zoom, have you signed the attendance now? Do not leave unless you have signed the attendance. Okay, so it should be posted in our chat. Those of you in the live chat, can somebody, all teachers, English teachers who are watching right now also, who are monitoring, could you please give now the attendance? I want to see it in the live chat, attendance and the link for the exam. Do not forget to take the exam, the long test today. Okay. John Russell is already asking, where is the long test? Ira.
Excuse me po. All students po ba rito ay pass po?
Yes, either way. By the way, thank you, Ma'am Corpus, for reminding me. For those of you who failed in the English subject, you are going to take 2 tests. One is for the long test. That's for the 3rd quarter, and the second one is for the intervention class for those who failed. So again, let me remind, for those who are failed in English, you will take 2 exams today. One is for the intervention class because you failed, and the second one is for the second one is for the long test. However, for those who passed, most of you who passed, you only take the long test. There's a 2 different link, okay? So I hope that is clear. Can I see? Those in the live chat, please stay to get the English teachers. Can you please help send also the link of the exam and the attendance? All right. Thank you so much for we end so early, but it's okay. 11:56. So I may end now the okay, so remember reminders. Don't forget to sign the attendance. Take the long test after the class. Okay, so have a nice day, everyone. God bless you. For those of you in Zoom, you may stay for our picture taking. Do not leave yet because we need to have our attendance taken. Okay, for those of you on the YouTube live, God bless you. I will end now the live stream.